Hi guys, welcome back to my second video. I think feels like ages since I've done the last one, but that's probably because it was the summer when I did the last one last year. We've now had New Year and we are right at the end of January in the winter in the UK. But by the power of YouTube, it'll just be a click away because I haven't uploaded any of these videos anyway. So yeah, so last time briefly discussed what we've got here. We've got 1967 camper van. I've done a bit of digging around to find the work that we need to do, sort of body work, welding work, chassis work, really, that we need to do. I roughly know underneath here, underneath certainly the front wheel arch and the sills underneath the loading doors there, and the rear wheel arch and the jacking points and outriggers and all that sort of stuff is pretty messy. So yeah, so this is first proper doing some work on the van video. So let's go on with it. So the main bit we're going to work on today is, right, let's get a decent light under there. I'm scared to show you guys. So what we got there, that should have a bottom on it. This should be all boxed off, and it is all very, very crumbly. So this whole outrigger section here is going to have to come out. These jacking points are the jacking point itself is pretty solid, but yeah, it's above and around the jacking point. There's no support above either. So if I the outer bit of the wheel arch as well just needs a bit of work there. And I'd like to grind that back and see whether that's salvageable, but I don't know. We'll find out in the fullness of time. Back when I'd used to jack up with the jacking points, I jacked it up and then I noticed this all start to close up, and I hooked it out, and yeah, when I took it back down again, I had a look in here and there was newspaper and filler. So this van was originally a barn find, apparently, in Sweden. I bought it off a guy who said yeah, it was all really good condition, but I think it was hiding a lot of stuff. Actually, the longer I've had it, you look at things like this. I mean, you can't tell what it's like under there, but the fact that that is not obviously rusting through, it's not bubbling up anywhere. I can't see any rust-coloured markings or anything like that. I'd find it really difficult to grind all of that sealant back to see what's underneath, because for me that looks okay. I think I'm quite lucky in that sense. A lot of the bus is covered in stuff like that, but then there's just these edges. Strangely, it's on the, what would you call it, the offside. Anyway, so normally, like in the UK, you drive on the left-hand side of the road, so the left-hand side of the vehicle would get the most corrosion because that's picking up all the dirt from the guttering. This obviously is a left-hand drive van from Sweden, so obviously it drove on the right-hand side for a lot of time. So yeah, the majority of my corrosion, like the jacking points and outriggers on the other side, aren't too bad. They're not perfect, but they're much better than this. So yeah, a lot of this corrosion must have been from when it was in Sweden. I mean, oh my god, look at that front wheel arch. Awful. Sorry, I'm waving the camera around a lot. So yeah, so this is the area I'm going to tackle now. I'm going to take you underneath a little bit. That's the same outrigger from the other side, and the jacking point that I need to work on. So these don't look too bad. That looks a bit puffed up and rusty. There, yeah. That one doesn't look good. What are these? I'm still learning here. So are these cross members or top hats or something like that? Sure. And then we've got the rear outrigger. Not as bad. Needs some work. Interestingly, another story about this jacking point. When I jacked this up, this was obviously before I got the handbrake working properly on the one side. So I jacked it up, never chocked it or anything like that, just assumed handbrakes work, because why wouldn't they? And then, like, at its full height, the whole thing just rolled over, square jacking point in a square hole there, split that open don't know if you can see in there. Split that jacking point open. So yeah, I'd like to jack up via these in the future because it seems a lot quicker than all of that faff down there. So that would be nice if we could use jacking points in the future. And then, ooh, look at that. But yeah, there's lots of good to be said about this van. But then there's some real bad stuff as well. I'm waving you around again like an idiot. So if I put that there, you can see some of the bubbling on the sill here. It's not too terrible, but this is where I need to do a bit of investigation work. It's annoying that that's right on the seam there, but hey, we'll get to these another day. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mount you guys to a tripod. I'm going to get on with an angle grinder with a wire brush on here and just take off some of this stuff. You can see I've got my overalls on. First time I've ever used these, although they're ancient. Got a mask up there. There's some goggles and some gloves up there that I'll be using. Obviously you've got to keep safe in these scenarios. I'm sure I won't always be doing that. So yeah, let's crack on with it. Could be worse, couldn't it? I know it looks terrible, but could be a lot worse. Difficult to see. That doesn't look very good. And then so yeah, while I was out here I ground the paintwork and everything off there. I hate chucking stuff, but that looks... I mean, we've still got all the edges there, so I reckon if I maybe cut out a square, that might be salvageable. So yeah, so I don't think I'm really bothered. I'm not going to clean up this, obviously, because that's the whole thing's gone. So I'm not sure at the moment how these are secured together. I guess they're spot welded through. Well, I can't see. Oh yeah, maybe I can. Yeah, they are spot welded then. So I don't know if you can see. Just in there you can see little dimples of where the spot welds are. So yeah, this, I mean, that's got to go, that's got to go, and then I assume I've got to take it up there. All of that gone. It'd be cool when I'm doing some work on this van if like I could find some some original, just some funky things that fell down, some gaps over the years. Yeah, so when I first got the van, I found down the front in between the front panel and the interior panels, there was a piece of paperwork, only half a failed Swedish MOT certificate, which coincidentally at the time said it had failed its MOT because it had no brakes. And at the time that I found that piece of paperwork, it had just failed its MOT because it had no, well, it didn't have no brakes, but I don't think they were balanced properly. Let's put it that way. So I've just got the inner sill there. I've just got some of the looser bits off. Yeah, that looks alright, doesn't it? Just looks like a bit of surface rust there. So I reckon that'll clean up alright, and then if I come up to about here maybe. Look at that, that's the original beige paint, I guess. Which this van used to be coloured that colour all over. Close call. I thought I was going to be able to save this and just do a little patch there. And the more I look into it now, looks like I might have to just cut this whole area out and just put a new end to that on. Just noticed where I might have a bit of a problem. I'm hoping I haven't. Yeah, that doesn't look good. So, where this outrigger meets the main beam, is it? No, more the chassis beams. None of that's good, but oh shit, look at this. This is bad. That's really bad, isn't it? I think I need to okay, cut along here. You know what, I was always terrified of touching the rust because it made it seem worse somehow, but it's not doing anything obviously because it's so weak and rusted through. It's actually quite a nice feeling to do something about it. I could probably get that up to... Okay, I might call it a night here. So, there's nothing too unexpected so far. The condition over here, not crazy out of line with what I was expecting. My main worry at the moment is that big hole. I mean, my welder that I bought is second hand. I mean, it might be alright if it's second hand, but it's second hand and it's not very powerful. So I don't know the thickness of that chassis beam. So I don't think I'll be able to weld. Initial thoughts are I don't think I'll be able to weld the thickness of that beam. It worries me a little bit that that jack axle stand is on a beam that leads to there as well, but we've also got it supported on this side by the jack. So yeah, so for now anyway, to carry on, I need to get out the other side of this outrigger, remove the rest of this jacking point. I'm waiting for someone on Facebook who's got these parts to see whether he'll post them to me. Hopefully he will. He's got loads more parts that I don't need, but looking at this, maybe I do need them after all. Oi oi. Right, that's it for the night. Okay, I think I'm done. That's not showing you anything, don't know why I did that. It's not bad progress, I don't think. You know, my face says it all looking at that. Oh my god, what have I done? I think it'll be alright. It's got to, what's the saying? You got to break some eggs to make an omelette. I think that's the saying. See you next time.